We are all aware of the downturn in the Toronto real estate market and the GTA real estate market, but have downtown Toronto condos actually bounced back a bit into July? Well, we're going to cover that and much more, as always, in another video. Let's get to it. Hello, everyone. This is Sam from SaberiSixRealEstate and Remax Realtron Realty Inc. As always, back with another video for you guys here today. If you are new to the channel, welcome. On this channel, we like to discuss all things Toronto and GTA real estate in terms of market trends, market facts, building reviews, buyer seller advice. And so if you find this type of content informative, feel free to subscribe, leave a like, and you can find my contact information in the description box. If any questions arise, feel free to get in touch with me with the contact info in the description and on the screen. And you can do a little bit of your own due diligence by just simply Googling my name, going through my Google reviews before you do get in touch with me with your questions. One special note before we get into today's video. I was recently on the New School Real Estate podcast where they just interviewed me about my background, how I got into real estate, how I conduct my business, and a lot more stuff related to my business and not so much, obviously, discussions about the market as we do on this channel. So if you guys are at all intrigued about knowing more about me, feel free to go find that podcast episode on YouTube or any other podcast platform. A link will be in the description. And yeah, go feel free to give it a watch. Otherwise, if you are not interested, well, let's talk about the market today, as always, which is downtown Toronto condo prices as of July 2022, albeit only 26 full days into July 2022. We are all aware of the downturn within the Toronto condo market, the Toronto real estate market, overall the greater Toronto real estate market. I have gone through on this channel extensively with regards to termination figures, price drops, average days on market for all different types of properties. And then from more of the experiential side, all the leverage buyers have in today's market, all the leverage which I've negotiated for buyers in today's market, sold conditionals are up. Well, it actually happens so that obviously, as I do for this channel and for my clients, buyers and sellers, I was going through some numbers in this regard for 1+1s in downtown Toronto. And I saw something peculiar. I saw actually an increase in average sold prices for 1+1s, which actually led me to go through all condo types in the downtown area. Here, types refers to the number of bedrooms, not actually whether it's a loft or an apartment. And I actually saw the same thing, namely that month over month, comparing the 26 days in full we have in July to the first 26 days in full in June, average and median sold prices are up. And for those who are interested as to how I derive these numbers, well, every time there's a real estate transaction recorded, it goes into the MLS system, and I can literally go transaction by transaction, whether it's 2,000 transactions or 2 transactions. I can go through every individual data entry in terms of the transaction and compile averages, compile median prices, and all sorts of other interesting statistics for real estate purposes. Nonetheless, back to the original point here, we see that on a monthly basis, insofar as, of course, 26 full days into the month is concerned, prices are up. Starting out with one bedrooms in June of 2022, the average sold price was $624,000. Well, into July, it's only up by about $3,000, nothing whatsoever, to be really honest with you, at $627,000, right? So $627,000. The reason I say nothing, for long-time viewers of this channel, people know when we're talking about averages, whether it's $3,000 up, $3,000 down, although yes, on paper, that is literally an increase in average sold prices. $3,000 in practice, it's actually very minimal. If 2 transactions went another way, it could have easily been $3,000 dip or, once again, a break even. This is where the increase in average sold prices in downtown Toronto condos is the least. What saw the biggest increase is actually 2 bedrooms and 2+1s, wherein in July of 2022, the average sold price was $951,000, whereas in June of 2022, we were looking at an average of $934,000. So that's about a $17,000 increase on an average basis. Whereas for 2+1s, the average in June was $1,065,000. The average in July has thus far been $1,083,000. And where this exercise all started with regards to me looking for a client, well, with 1+1s, the average in June of 2022 was $706,000. Now it's at $718,000. Now, the only condo type that's actually down and not up are studios. Studios are the condo types that are down month over month, according to my numbers. Now, what are we really to take away from this increase? That is more the interesting point of discussion here. Well, to answer that, we really have to put these numbers into perspective, because right now we're looking at month over month. But as I have established on this channel, many other real estate agents on YouTube probably have established all the same, articles all around, we're not dealing with peak market conditions. So if we were to compare these numbers to peak market conditions, we would see a vast difference. Because if we take that very example of a 1+1, where we just established is up month over month, from June going up about $12,000 to July at $718,000 in average sold price. Well, if we compare that to March of 2022, really the time period in which I would probably have to say for downtown Toronto, prices kind of peaked. Of course, February, we're dealing with really high prices as well. Well, in March of 2022, the average sold price of a 1+1 was $791,000. And the same thing applies for 2s, 2+1s and 1s. For 2+1s, for instance, the gap is much larger. The gap is in March of 2022, the average sold price for a downtown Toronto condo that was a 2+1 was $1.3 million. Now we're looking at the low 1 millions. Now, of course, with 2+1s is kind of a different story because there's less transactions available, and 2+1s, once again, as I've said this ad nauseum on this channel, the types of properties available for 2+1s ranges anything from a, honestly, like 900 square feet condo sometimes to a 2,000 square feet penthouse. So the averages for 2+1s are a little bit more susceptible to outlier months. So yes, month over month, prices are up in downtown Toronto for downtown Toronto condos, according to the downtown Toronto condo market. I'm saying this many times as possible for the algorithm, unfortunately, but they're down since peak market conditions. So now we can actually take a little bit of a better look at the question. What does this really tell us? And in my opinion, of course, not knowing 100%, right? Because this is not a concrete science like physics. There's a lot of assumptions that go into this. But what I would probably have to say is inventory has somewhat dwindled to a point in downtown Toronto and overall really within the real estate market across the GTA, where what quality options do exist are managing to sell at higher prices, because then whatever buyers have not been eliminated from the market, potentially some of which are part of that group of buyers that a lot of people suspect to be unrepresented buyers who have been sitting on the sidelines to jump in, have to deal with dwindling inventory. Well, but is this just an opinion or is this based upon fact? Well, I actually want to know. And that's what I did. I looked into how many properties came onto the market in June of 2022 for downtown Toronto condos versus July of 2022, thus far 26 days. And once again, this is a 26-day versus 26-day. We're not taking June in its entirety comparing to July, only 26 days. And we see here in June of 2022, 26 days into that month, there was about 1137, so 1,137 new listings that came onto the market in June in downtown Toronto for condos. But thus far in July of 2022, we are only looking at 807. So about a 300 drop in new listing figures. However, what I suspect to be one of the primary causes of this is dwindling inventory on the supply side of things. There are less condos coming onto the market because sellers may be actually adjusting their expectations to the slower market. As a result, they're seeing prices go down and they're like, well, why would we list right now if we can afford to wait until next year or a year and a half from now? So I don't think it's quite a coincidence that prices have gone up a bit, let's be honest, very marginally so, while listing figures have come down. Nonetheless, once again, we are in a correction. The market's not back all of a sudden. I think most sellers should probably still wait if they can afford to wait. I still think it's a really good time for a lot of buyers to get active in today's market, whether it's for downtown Toronto condos here, but even more to the point for a lot of detached freehold options. It's a much more buyer-friendly market in the suburbs and in certain areas of the Toronto real estate market. Let me know if you have any further questions, and as always, feel free to subscribe, comment, rate, and review. My contact information in the description box and on the screen as well. Thank you very much for watching. Stay safe and stay tuned. Thank you.